Welcome to Newsome MMA in association with MMA 365. I'm your host, Jon Prentice, and today I have the pleasure of being joined once again by former Ultimate Fighter competitor and current Cage Titans standout, Joe Giannetti. Now, Joe is set to face off against Roberto Yong next weekend on January 25th at Cage Titans 47. Can't wait to see Joe back in there. Joe, thank you for joining me. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing good, man. Just hanging out. Today's my rest day. Get back to the grind tomorrow. Finish cutting down the weight. Fight on Saturday.
Excellent. Now, first and foremost, this is the first time we've spoken to you in this new year, in this new decade. Did you have a good Christmas and New Year, man?
I did, man. It was good. I got to hang out with the family. I got to enjoy some food. I haven't done that in years. So it was really nice. I got to hang out with everybody. And I didn't really go crazy like with food and drinking and stuff, but it was just nice to be able to indulge in it. So it was a good time.
Yeah. Now, did you know? Because obviously you knew that you had a fight coming up. Had this fight been booked come Christmas? Did you know that you could kind of go a little bit crazy and indulge a little bit, or did you know that the fight was booked and you thought, right, I've got to stay on track over Christmas and not get too carried away?
No. So the fight was only booked about 3 weeks ago. We've gone through so many names just to get me a fight on this card. Cage Titans does its best every time, but there was guys that are on top prospect lists in multiple countries that, just didn't want to fight, or they'd call me out to fight maybe because they thought that I'd say no. And the second I said, yeah, something came up, the date doesn't work, don't like the matchup anymore. So there was weeks on weeks of me being like, I'm probably not even going to fight. But I just had to try and keep the mindset that I would. And then, Roberto Yong came along a couple weeks ago and said he'd do it.
Now, every time we've spoken, this seems to be a common theme with you. People do not want to fight you, do they? I mean, everybody knows what you're about. They saw you on The Ultimate Fighter. They know that you're a dangerous guy. You've said many times before you'll step in there against anyone. We saw that in the Paddy Pimblett matchup that got booked. You flew over at very short notice. Do you find it frustrating that it's so hard for you to get matchups, and then they kind of get arranged 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before, so you don't really have that full time to prepare because no one will seem to take a fight with you just on a normal full camp? Yeah, let's go. Me and Joe are going to face off in 8 weeks, 10 weeks time, or whatever it is. Does that frustrate you?
Yeah, man. It's pretty frustrating just because like you said, I don't care who I fight. So it's not really like I don't have full preparation, but, it's hard to promote myself and sell tickets because I feel like at least the last 6 months, I think every other month I was like, all right, I'm fighting on this date. And then I wasn't fighting. And then a couple weeks later, I'm like, I'm fighting on this date. And then I wasn't fighting.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it becomes kind of like the boy that cries wolf. So now that I'm actually fighting, people are like, yeah, I believe it when I see you in the cage.
Yeah, it must be frustrating for you, man. It must be frustrating. Now, as you said, Roberto Yong, he has stepped up. He is willing to take the challenge. You face off next weekend, January 25th. How are preparations going, and what does the next week have in store for you?
It's going great. It's cool because, he just fought one of my teammates, Brandon Fleming, lost by a rear naked choke, I believe it was, or some sort of choke. But it was good kind of having his insight on how Roberto feels, what he's good at. It's different what you see compared to how it really kind of goes down in the cage.
Yeah.
So it's been great having like almost an inside tip. And, this week is just kind of fine tuning. I mean, all the shit that is going to be focused on the fight is going to be stuff we're practicing this week. And then just a lot of cardio, I like to keep a high pace and then just, trimming down until I get the weigh-ins going.
Excellent. Now, how do you evaluate Young? How do you think he's going to come out here and square off against you? And how do you see the fight playing out between the two of you?
I think Roberto Yong is going to make a lot of mistakes that a lot of people have earlier in my career, where I don't think he's going to respect my stand-up. I think he's going to have to learn to respect it because I have a very deceiving style where like even my own teammates are like, oh, you don't hit that hard. And I'm like, well, I'm not hitting you that hard. But, I might not have any knockouts in the cage. Granted, my last fight was a standing TKO, but I don't have any clean knockouts. But, I mean, there's a reason I have so many submissions. Guys shoot. Guys don't want to stand anymore. I mean, it's one thing to hit a guy in the butt and put him to sleep. It's another thing to make him willingly go, okay, let's stop standing and striking.
Excellent. Now, as I briefly covered a minute ago. Obviously, there was a big fight with Paddy Pimblett that didn't go down at the end of last year. How eager are you to get back in there now after everything that happened during that fight week and just fight and just do what you love doing?
To be honest, I'm actually more excited for the weigh-ins than the fight. Like for the first time ever, like I'm excited to cut weight. Like I told all my teammates, I'm like, oh, I'm the worst cutting weight, but like this time I'm gonna be like, all right, cool, like 6 more pounds, let's do it, let's get in there. I hate cutting weight, but I love proving people wrong, and people that like to just talk bad about me, I love proving them wrong and making them look dumb. So it obviously everything that went down, like there was things that went wrong, there was things that were my fault, but there was also just people weren't having an open mind for certain conversations. I was trying to tell my side of the story, and people were very close-minded about it. So when I weigh in at 55 and there's no more excuses from anybody, you can't say, oh, he can't make 55. Oh, he's a cheat, da, 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 da. It's like, I'm a 55er, you can't run forever.
Yeah, but I mean, did it frustrate you, the kind of the backlash? Because it was very split on social media and things. A lot of people saying that obviously you agreed to this fight very short notice. You obviously had to fly over to the UK and you gave it your best shot to cut weight. And then obviously you've got the other side of people saying that you didn't take it seriously, etc. Did it frustrate you, any of the comments, or do you just tend to ignore that kind of stuff?
It frustrates me a little bit when people don't have the whole story. And a lot of stuff it comes off as an excuse, but I don't have any excuses. I have reasons. Because if I had an excuse, I'd be saying, oh, it's fine that I missed weight. It's not fine that I missed weight. I shouldn't have, but I did everything in my power to try and make weight. The only thing I did wrong for that was I started too heavy, because I was heavier than I should have been walking around, because probably 3 days before that, I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to fight at Cage Titans because they couldn't find me an opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enjoy the holidays. I'm in an Italian family. Like my girlfriend's mom's Italian. Like they like to cook. I was like, I'll enjoy some food for once for the holidays. And then next thing you know is, oh, hey, Paddy Pimblett's opponent pulled out. Nobody will fight him. And I'm like, I'll do it. I mean, like, this is what the position I put myself. You got to take a risk if you want to get the big reward. I knew it was going to suck. I knew it was going to be horrible. And it did. It was absolutely awful. And Paddy kept talking about how I just wanted the weight advantage. To be honest, Paddy is one of the smallest, scrawniest people I've ever seen. And he might have had a strength advantage against me, because I did that weight cut so dangerously wrong to make weight. I lost so much muscle in that 1 week. Like when I went back to the gym and started lifting, I was so much weaker. I was like, wow, Paddy actually, if he was smart, would have taken that fight, because it would have been a lot closer than us ever fighting with me on a full camp.
Yeah, because you said just after the fight had been cancelled that you were down to it was something ridiculous, like 300 odd calories in the week. I mean, like you say, that's not a good way to cut weight. And did it frustrate you that you didn't take the fight? I mean, you've just said there that he'd have had an advantage because you lost so much strength, because you weren't cutting in the normal sense given the situation. Did it frustrate you that you didn't take the fight, or did you enjoy just the experience of coming over to London? I know you met up with a lot of UK fans. You've got a lot of fans over here. And do you just put it down to this is an experience?
Yeah, exactly. It was a learning experience, because, a couple people have been like, you got to walk around lighter. You got to walk around lighter. And it's like, dude, I barely ever fight anymore because people don't want to fight me. So Christmas is coming around. I'm going to have some good dinner. I'm going to have a beer, hang out with my friends and family. But it was one of those things where it was like, all right, like 2020, you're going to fight a couple times this year, going to make sure of it no matter where I have to go. So, I mean, it was a learning experience as to walk around lighter. So, I mean, I've been walking around about 10 pounds lighter. So, it's one of those things I learned a lot, but at the same time, it's like the way that he's talking, it's almost as if he's pretending we didn't have an opportunity to settle it. And that was my whole thing. I don't blame him for not taking the fight. I mean, like I said, the 3 scales that I used said I was off by 4 pounds. And I was like, that's still terrible. But I was like, 9 days notice, screw it. 4 pounds. Like I'm not getting any more weight off. I might die. So I was like, whatever. I texted the promoter, or the matchmaker, I should say, and told him. And he said, we'll figure it out. I can't see Paddy not taking this fight. And I showed up. And then, Paddy kind of started running his mouth. And then on social media was saying, oh, well, he had enough energy to flip out. The way I started flipping out is all I said is, Paddy, don't pretend I didn't take this last minute, because I just took this just over a week ago.
Yeah.
And he was treating it as if I had a full camp and missed weight, which he's done twice.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans were saying it was quite hypocritical given the fact that he has missed weight before. Obviously, he said that that was when he was younger, etc., etc. So, um, did you look at it and think, oh, this is kind of hypocritical given the fact that you've missed weight? I've come in on a week's notice. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was like I said, it was. I don't blame him for not taking the fight. I mean, it's personal preference whether you do or not. Like I said, a couple of years ago, my opponent missed weight by 5 pounds. No second guess. We fought. We went to a draw. We didn't go to a draw because he was overweight. We went to a draw because it was a draw. Um, but Paddy wants to talk like a fighter, but he doesn't want to fight. And I said it to a lot of my teammates when I came home. I have never faced off with another fighter and been like, oh yeah, I'm in his head. Like I got him. But, me and Paddy faced off and the look he gave me was, wow, I need any excuse to not fight this kid.
Now, will the fight happen in the future? I mean, fight fans, we're so excited for this. Do you think it'll happen down the line? Obviously, I know Graham Boylan said it's not going to happen on Cage Warriors, but do you think it will happen at some point?
I don't think so, honestly. Paddy doesn't want to fight me. And I'm sure when he hears this, he'll say, oh, we had a chance to fight. And it's like, we had a chance to fight, like the two of us, two to tango. I missed weight, but you said you'd beat my ass and wouldn't fight me. It's just one of those things, man. It's like, I don't blame you for not taking a fight, but don't talk like you're going to do something about it because we could have. That was my whole thing that got me so angry about the situation, and then him and his friends are telling me to come meet him at a bar fight. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll see you there. Then I bump into him at the bar. And I mean, I said it to him online. He had a cameraman following him all weekend. Where's the video from the bar? He didn't post that one. That's really weird. But I mean, it was about 2 versus 4. And then we're at the other bar. It was 2 versus 7. Nobody wanted to fight after asking me to fight. I came to London to fight. I didn't care if it was in a cage or in a bar.
I mean, the fans wanted to see it either way, so I'm sure there'd be eyes on it, whether it was in the cage or whether it was outside of it. Now, getting back to this weekend, this fight coming up, is it good to be fighting back in front of your home fans, or did you enjoy that travelling element that came with the whole Cage Warriors experience?
Yeah, the entire Cage Warriors experiences was amazing. I mean, it was super stressful because when I took the fight, I didn't even have a passport. I had to go into Boston and get one overnighted, so that was a hassle. But the flight over, the way everybody was, Boylan and everybody from Cage Warriors was amazing. It was honestly very similar to my experience in UFC. Between the production, the interviews, the photo shoots, the hotel travel, like how smooth everything worked out. It was awesome. And like I said, I don't blame him for Graham for being mad at me or anything. But I sent him an email and a message, and I was like, hey, I know you don't want to hear from me, but like I want you to know that I do appreciate everything. This has never happened before. It will never happen again. Just apologies and letting him know I did appreciate it. And, Paddy was trying to set this precedent. Like I came out for a vacation. That would have been the worst vacation in history because it was so stressful.
Yeah, you said to me when we spoke before that fight as well. I mean, you were only over there for a couple of days as well. So it'd be if it was just for a vacation, it was going to be a pretty short-lived vacation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a couple days in and out, and I had to cut weight the whole time. Yeah, it's a terrible vacation. I just remember after the weigh-ins, I was like, damn, like we're not gonna fight. And then the matchmaker was like, no, there's no way Paddy's gonna say no. And I'm like, okay. And then we were sitting at the hotel bar, and I kept ordering waters because I was all sucked out. So I'm just sucking down water, and I'm like, do I order like a chicken salad, or am I not fighting? Do I order a cheeseburger? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm starving, but I don't know what to eat. And so I'm like on the phone, just blowing up Cage Warriors. Like, am I fighting? Am I fighting? Like, oh, we're trying to work it out with Paddy, da 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 da. And then after like an hour, they were like, yeah, Paddy doesn't want to fight. Like he won't negotiate anything. And I was like, all right, we get a cheeseburger.
Now let's talk about last night, because obviously there's a huge event, UFC 246, McGregor against Donald Cerrone. I know from your social media that you were watching that. Firstly, what did you make of it? And secondly, does watching those big events like that, the huge furore that comes with it, does that increase your drive to get back to that the top of your game, to get up to that UFC level again?
I mean, I thought the fight was honestly exactly what I thought it was going to be. I mean, Cowboy's been known to just not fight smart because he knows what the fans want. And as a fan, you can appreciate it. As a fighter, if the easy way is there, you're never going to see me go the hard way. If I'm fighting Conor McGregor and I know I could choke him out, guess what? I'm choking Conor McGregor out. So I hate seeing Cowboy fight like that. I thought Conor was just going to come out and throw everything at him, and he did. Good for Conor. He's back. I mean, I think he's getting a little too much hype. I mean, he fought a guy coming off 2 knockout losses, but whatever. And as far as the motivation, to be honest, seeing Cowboy and Conor doesn't motivate me to get back there. Seeing guys like Nasrat Hakparst, however you say his name, and Drew Dober, guys like that, like those guys, they're younger guys, the guys I know that I'm going to fight one day. You know, I'm keeping my eye on them. I see their styles, and I see holes in all their games. So it's those guys, because I know Dober's already talking about, I got my eyes on Khabib. But, you know, they don't think about the guys like me that got my eyes on them. I mean, I'm coming for them first.
Now, we've spoken before about how you like to stay active. Obviously, fighting in January, freaks up the schedule throughout 2020 to get several fights in. I mean, is that what you have planned for 2020? Are you in there several times if the opponent will step up and face you?
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm gonna get this job done on Saturday. I mean, I have to. I mean, this is just the best way to start this decade. Get this win. The only bad thing about this fight is Roberto's so much better than his record. So, you know, I don't think I'm gonna get the applause as I should for beating this guy. A lot of guys are gonna say, "Oh, it's a tune-up fight, this, that, the other thing." But I mean, Roberto's dangerous. But I'm gonna take him out, and then I'm gonna fight as much as I can this year. I'm gonna be back in the UFC by the end of this year. I mean, I said it last year. I think I said it the year before that. But I mean, after everything that's gone through, there's no doubt in my mind that this is the year. It's just a matter of getting it done, and a matter of guys stepping in there with me, which isn't always the easiest to make happen.
I mean, how many fights are you looking for throughout this year? I mean, because we spoke before and you said you want to fight 5 or 6 times in a year. Is that the sort of target again, or do you think like 3 solid opponents? I mean, have you got something in mind, a ballpark figure that you looking to fight this year?
In a perfect world, I can get through this weekend unscathed, fight 2 more times by April, win on the Contender this summer, and then make my UFC debut and maybe 1 more by the end of the year.
Man, you certainly got it planned out, and it sounds like a fantastic plan to us. Now, just before I let you go, do you have a prediction for how it's going to play out next weekend?
First round finish. There's no doubt in my mind. Roberto's really, really good. But, you know, including Fleming, my own teammate, he hasn't fought anybody like me. Fleming's better at a lot of things than me. I'm better at some things than Fleming. But nobody he's fought is anything like me. So I think that he's just not going to respect me. And after a couple minutes, he's going to realize that he messed up taking this fight.
Excellent, Emma. Thank you very much once again for joining us. We can't wait to see you, as I said, next weekend, January 25th, Cage Titans 47. The floor is yours now. If there's anyone you want to give a shout out to, it's over to you, man.
Just want to say thank you to South Shore Sport Fighting. Always help me get ready. Everybody there, you know, we're all kind of our own coaches. We help each other every minute, every day. Receptor CBD helping me recover. You know, I had some nagging injuries this camp. Helped me really recover with those. Cruise Combat's making my shorts again. They make the best custom shorts. I got some nice Dragon Ball Z shorts coming in for this one. On it for the supplements. Tim Tam Recovery for the massage gun. Bostonian Barbershop keeps me looking fresh. There's just so many people that helped this camp. I can't even think of everybody. But if you were involved and did support, I do appreciate you.
Excellent. Joe Giannetti, thank you very much for joining us once again on Newsome MMA. Look forward to seeing you fight next weekend. Thank you very much, and take it easy, my friend.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.